Okay, folks, time here in Liberia, 12 minutes down 3 p.m. We'd love to say good afternoon to all those of you listening to us here across Liberia. Pleasant day to those of you watching us all around the world. Today is the 27th day of January 2025. And it's no other day, but today is when President Barker shall fulfill Article 58 of the 1986 Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, and it reads: the President of Liberia must present the administration's legislative program for the upcoming season on the fourth working Monday of January each year. The President must also provide an annual report to the legislature on the state of the country. This report must include the country's economic condition, including income and expenditure. For those of you who are legal minds, you do know when the law says must, it is binding on you. You do not have an option. It's not optional. It is compulsory. And on today, as we speak, we'll be bringing you images from the grounds of the Capitol. This time around, due to the burning of the joint chamber, the State of the Nation address will be delivered on the grounds of the Capitol, not in the joint chamber, due to that special condition. But all is set. Let's now bring on our team assigned at the Capitol Hill, and we'll also be crisscrossing Liberia, bringing you another view of citizens' reactions in real time to the president's message. We have our teams scattered all about the grounds of the Capitol. My name is Diamond Slanger. A lot of speculation surrounding what President Barker is going to tell Liberians today through their deputies, that is, their representatives, senators, and representatives. The theme is Rescue to Developed, implementing the arrest agenda. Let's now bring in this feed from Capitol Hill. So Haji, what's happening and where you at now, Haji? Haji Masale, we're getting your picture, but it is not too clear. We're working on that. Let's bring in Sylvester Cholo player Nelson Cole at this moment. Nelson, good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon, Diamond, and good afternoon to Liberians here in Liberia. Good evening, good morning, depending on where some of our folks. And it's good to be here. Of course, Diamond, we are coming live from the grounds of the legislature, where the stage has been set. Everything is being beautifully organized here. All is now set for the President's annual message, the State of the Nation Address 2025.
Nelson, you said everything has been, the stage has been set. Bring us up to speed with arrivals at this moment.
Okay, so Diamond, as we captured earlier in our broadcast, there have been different arrangements here for officials of government, members of the diplomatic corps, and a lot more. So yes, in terms of arrival, I want to start from the podium, where you see uh, the the speaker of legislature. His seat is still vacant, and you see the judiciary, the judiciary branch of government. There's a seat there for them as well. The secretariat and members of the cabinet on the other end. In terms of arrival, we've seen the arrival of lawmakers yet. The House of Representatives and also senators have arrived. They're on the grounds of the legislature. Honorable Richard Kuhn is also here as well on the grounds of the legislature. But at the moment, they've not taken their seat because, as per the protocol here, they will have to be called. they will have to be ushered in before taking their seats.
Of the dean and members of the cabinet.
And so, Diamond, before now, there was the official ushering in of members of the diplomatic corps. As you see from the far end there, they all arrived at some point, and they took their seats. And so, the dean and members of the cabinet are now arriving. As you see on the stage there, Foreign Minister uh, Madam Sarah Beslo Yanti, uh, Honorable Mamaka Ability, and other officials of government, Honorable Kopa Kura, the Labor Minister. Uh, you also have you also have the Internal Affairs Minister and other officials. Members of the diplomatic corps are now members of the cabinet. Sorry, are now taking their seats here, uh, and they've been ushered in. So you have
All
folks
right,
from the
Nelson, let me
legislature
just
here
hold
as
you
well.
there for a minute. Let me hold you there
Yes.
for a minute and bring on Haji Masale. Haji, we see an arrangement being made from your view, from your picture as well. Um, what's unfolding at your end, Haji Masale? Haji, if you're hearing me, kindly unmute your microphone, sir. Please allow us do the muting and unmuting from this end. Kindly unmute your microphone. Okay, we'll get back to Haji Masale. Let's bring on Sylvester Cholople. Sylvester, good afternoon. Sylvester. Okay, we seem to have lost connection there with Sylvester. Let's go back to Nelson Pule. Nelson, my second question to you is what's the security protocol like accessing the grounds of the Capitol there?
Yeah, in terms of security protocol, Diamond, there is security here. Security is on site here today. You have folks from the joint security is more of a kind of a joint security operation here today. You have you have folks from the Liberia Immigration Service, the Liberia National Police, and they're all here. So in terms of security, yes, there's a huge presence of state security here on the grounds of the legislature. In fact,
Excellencies, distinguished
in
guests,
order to access
greetings
the
from the house
facility,
of the rising of
everyone
the
is required to
United
have the
States
pass.
of America.
So the speaker and the House of Representatives is now being ushered in. They are about to march in to take their seat. And so, as you see there,
Okay,
Diamond,
let's hold you there,
the,
Nelson,
the team
and
is
get
being
the ambience.
so the team is being led by
We do see the House of Representative members being led by Speaker Richard Nangbe Poon. And we do apologize for the video quality that is due to internet connectivity issues, but we're doing our best to make sure we bring you uh, unprecedented coverage of what's unfolding there on the grounds of the Capitol.
Kindly have your seats.
Nelson, so the members of the House of Representatives is taking their seat.
So, Diamond, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Nelson. My question is the members of the
Hello.
House of Representatives, have they taken their seat?
Oh yes, members of the House of Representatives are taking their seats. The team was headed by the Honorable Richard Nagwe Coon, who led the lawmakers. And so next up, we are expected to see members of the Liberian Senate coming in to take their seats as well. And this is exactly what the situation is here on Capitol Hill. As you know, we're moving very close to the official start time for the annual message. Almost 3:30, and so yes, all is being done. Members of the diplomatic corps have taken their seat. Members of the cabinet have taken their seats. Now the legislature, from the legislature, the House of Representatives have taken their seat as well. The folks from there, and so we are expected to see the judiciary taking seat, and that will now conclude it for the three branches of government. And then after that, we're going to apparently see the arrival of the president because our diplomatic partners are already seated, diplomatic missions, and all of those folks represented here are already seated. And so, yes, this is what the situation is here now on the grounds of the legislature. The arrivals from 3 p.m. Up until now was very quick because up to 2:30, up to 2:45, there were just a few persons here. But immediately as it hit 3 p.m., we saw people trooping in their numbers. So I see from the Senate wing, I see the senators are equally trying to they are gearing up. I see Senator Yomdi Kanga Lawrence from a distance there, dressed in red, is leading the team of senators uh, alongside the Vice President of the Republic of Nigeria.
Distinguished
And
ladies
they are
and
moving.
gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce the arrival of the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, President of the Senate, and members of the Senate. All present, please rise.
The arrival of the Vice President has been announced by the Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Liberia, Honorable Jeremiah Parkoon, President of the Liberian Senate, takes his seat as well. We'll read the official protocol for the State of the Nation Address 2025 as approved by the government of Liberia. So this is the official protocol of the State of the Nation Address 2025 at 2:50 p.m. The Chief Protocol of the
So the
Republic of
Vice
Liberia.
President now making his way. As you see, the Vice President of the Republic of Nigeria, Vice President Jeremiah Pankun, and the pro tem Senator Yomdi Kanga Lawrence and other senators are going to make their way as well. I see a brief conversation going on, Diamond.
Mm.
The senator and some of the organizers, uh, we want to move a bit closer to establish what the conversation is because
Kindly have your
by
seats.
now we should see the pro tem seated, but she was making her way up to the podium. But apparently, she's been stopped by the organizers and told that she has to sit down there where the rest of the other senators are sitting. So that's the situation you see there. They're still having some conversations with the protocol and those in charge of the program here.
All right, now, so let me hold you there for a minute and go through the official protocol for the State of the Nation Address 2025 at 2:50. The Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Liberia will announce the arrival of members of the Consular Corps. At 2:55 p.m., the Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Liberia will announce the arrival of heads of international organizations. At 3 p.m., the Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Liberia will announce the arrival of their excellencies, the Doyen and members of the Diplomatic Corps. At 3:05 p.m., the Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Liberia will announce the arrival of former heads of state former vice presidents, former speakers, former chief justices of the Supreme Court of Liberia, and former presidents pro tempore or present will rise. At 3:15 p.m., the Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Liberia will announce the arrival of Her Honor, the Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia. All present will rise. At 3:20 p.m., the Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Liberia will announce the arrival of the Speaker and members of the House of Representatives. All present will rise. At 3:25 p.m., the Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Liberia will announce the arrival of the Vice President, for which you just listened to, and for those of you who are watching, you've watched that, the arrival of the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, the President of the Senate, and members of the Senate. All present will rise. The Vice President of the Republic of Liberia will take the chair on the left of the Speaker, and members of the Senate will take seats reserved for them. Both houses will then be resolved in a joint session. At 3:45, the Sergeant of Arms of the Honorable House of Representatives will announce the opening of the second joint session of the 55th Legislature. At 3:50 p.m., the Joint Executive Committee of both houses will meet the President of the Republic of Liberia at the main entrance of the grounds of the Capitol building and escort him along with the Sergeant at Arms and both houses to the podium. Upon arrival, the Sergeant of Arms of the House of Representatives will announce the arrival of the President of the Republic of Liberia. All present will rise. Let's now join the program there live on the grounds of the Capitol. Nelson Colette.
Angry about the situation.
Nelson
So,
Colette, has the issue with
Diamond, can
the
you?
Senate pro tempore be resolved?
Okay, so at the moment, I see some senators are still standing up, but the podium, like you see on the podium there, they have some of the protocol officers are kneeling before the podium, trying to talk to her with respect to the way this entire thing play out. But this is something, Diamond, that the senators are not happy about at all, because they think that this program is primarily intended to have the executive or the president address the lawmakers, the legislators, and because of that, they should be seated up there and not cabinet ministers or members of the cabinet seated up there as you see from the other end here.
So is that a complaint coming from the members of the Senate that they want to be up there? Because when you look at the official protocol here, I only do see a seat reserved for the Vice President, and he will be sitting on the left of the Speaker. So what's the issue, Nelson?
So the issue is, sorry, Diamond. So the issue is they the program. Maybe you want to come with your question again. I was being engaged by one of the officers, and I lost track of the final part of your question.
My question is, according to the special protocol, it reads the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia will take the chair at the left of the Speaker, and members of the Senate will take seats reserved for them. Both houses
Yeah.
will then be resolved in a joint session. So what's the complaint coming from senators?
Okay, so Diamond, due to some reason, I can't really zoom in that much. But if you were to capture a full screen of the angle from where I am, you will see at the far end on the podium, you have members of the cabinet seated there, where you have the foreign minister, you have Minister Grisby and other officials of government seated there. Now, yes, I know you just read the protocol, but this is something that the lawmakers are having issue with. And as you see, the vice president and the pro tem are still engaging. You can see that gesture, that movement and stuff, because the lawmakers are saying that this program, the State of the Nation address, is intended to have the president to address them. That's why officially a program such as the State of the Nation address will be held in the joint chambers of the legislature, primarily to address the 103 lawmakers who are the direct representatives of the people of Liberia. So they are saying that the program is not for the president to address members of his cabinet or what have you. So those who should be seated up there and be addressed by the president are the senators, members of the first branch of government, and not having the senators seated down while members of the cabinet are seated on the podium. So this is the point of contention here at the moment. I see the protest is still being engaged. Protocol officers are still moving to her, trying to have her, to calm her down. I see Senator Delon angrily
Is she seated
walking and
up
took a
there
seat
on
as
the
well.
podium? Is the Senate pro tempore, Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, seated up there on the podium?
Yeah, she's is seated on the podium. If you want to capture one view here, you will see that the protem is dressed in red, and she's seated right next to the vice president, and she's seated between the vice president and the deputy speaker. So the protem is seated right there. She's seated on the podium, but the rest of the other senators are down here. But another concern, Diamond, is that this is an arrangement that was done far before now. If you remember, we did a build up to the event even before now, where we captured and we were showing all of the different positions, the seating capacities that have been reserved for the respective officials of government. For the House of Representatives, the leadership, the House's leadership, has her seat at the front row. Same as with the Liberian Senate. The Senate's leadership also has a seat at the front row. So another thing is, if there were issues with this arrangement, why are the issues being addressed just now? Why are the issues being raised just now? But this is what the arrangement was far before now. And this now has sparked some concerns, especially for lawmakers, the senators.
Now, Nelson, let's leave that a bit and dabble into other affairs there. You mentioned the members of the diplomatic corps present. Um, which embassies are represented there? So we've lost Nelson Colette for a minute. We do see President Boyka is making his way to the grounds of the.
Diamond, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Nelson. Those are members of the
Okay, yeah,
diplomatic
go ahead. I
corps.
can hear you now.
My question is, members of the diplomatic corps present, Nelson, and also former heads of state, former vice presidents, and former speakers as well. Who are those present? Begin with the diplomatic corps, and then you can go to former presidents and vice presidents.
So I'm going to have to move there. I'm going to have to move towards that end to bring you. I'm going to have to move towards that end to bring you some of the members of the diplomatic corps that are present here. I will have to move there, but I'm a bit away from there, and these huge security presence here, they prevent us from having some carry on some movements and all of
Let
that.
me
But I
go
did
through
see
there.
from a distance.
If I can bring in Haji Masale, if Haji can hear us. Haji, good afternoon to you, sir. How are you? Haji Masale.
Yeah, Dama, I'm hearing you.
Yes, Haji. Kindly tell us, those present, members of the diplomatic corps, and also former heads of state and former vice presidents as well.
So from where I'm standing, can only see from my view the members of the House of Representatives, members of the Liberian Senate, and okay, like from a vintage point, I can see some members of the diplomatic corps. They are just far across. because of the restriction, we cannot go towards there and identify them, as they are, seated. But from the look of things, the members of the House of Representatives are in very huge number, and the Senate too the same. Like we saw the arrival of the Vice President, he came along with members of the Liberian Senate. The Speaker did the same, march along with members of the House of Representatives. Damon.
All right. So we'll keep connecting with you. Seating arrangement properly done from where you are.
Come again?
Seating arrangement, Haji, properly done. And how's the inflow of people there? Security protocol, and how do you access the grounds of the capital there?
Yeah, so this State of the Nation address is taking place at a time where we have situation on. So the backdrop of that, the security protocol is very tight. Usually, the venue is the junction there. Then the grounds of the capital can be flooded with, sometimes partisans, sometimes well-wishers, and people who just want to come, and attend, but can, access the, John Chimum. So the entire ground will be flooded with, tens of thousands of people. But since the State of the Nation address is being held on the ground itself, means that there is just limited, group of people we are seeing here. So from those accessing this place, you have to, show your invitation. If you are a journalist or, accredited, person, you have to show your pass before you get access to the ground.
Let's talk about the judiciary branch. We've got the information that the Chief Justice is in Egypt attending an official conference there. She's on official duty in Egypt. Associate Justices present from the Supreme Court, Haji.
So not yet to see members of the judiciary. Apparently, some of them may be in the crowd, but for the podium where we are, seeing hierarchies of the executives, like the party chairman is one of the board members, like the internal affairs minister already seated. You can see from the far extreme, like all of officers of the executive, they are seated. But for the judiciary, we now from this point you also see the deputy speaker, you see the vice president in chat with the speaker. Then you can see Young Plikanga Lawrence also sitting between the deputy speaker and the vice president. So they see there were reserved for the members of the judiciary. So, but the protocol is arranged in a way that the members of the House arrive, the members of the Senate arrive, so we expect the judiciary to do the same, but that hasn't happened yet.
That should have been announced at 3:15 p.m. according to the official protocol document that we have here. It reads that at 3:15 p.m., the Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Liberia will announce the arrival of Her Honor, the Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia. All present shall rise. And that was slated to happen at 3:15, Haji. And our time here says it's at least 29 minutes up to um, up to 4 p.m. or so. So that should have happened minutes ago.
Yeah. So apparently they will not be announced, but that should be the protocol where they will be announced to take their seat, and the announcement will go with people giving ovation to the guests or to those arriving. All rise, and when the group rise, and you get people, arriving to take that seat. So we are not seeing that for the judiciary, but the rest of the, two other branches, they have already seated awaiting the president who is on his way at the moment.
So, yes, the president is indeed on his way. We can tell you that for sure. President Boyka's motorcade is somewhere along the Tottenham Boulevard, headed to the grounds of the capital. Haji, let's talk about CDC lawmakers in attendance. Are there any lawmakers from the opposition Congress for Democratic Change in attendance?
Yeah, Damo, they are in very huge number. So you can see just before me, you can see Bintu Masale. She's seated there. She's from the CDC. You can see on my, left extreme, you see Kokolo Jones, who the Magibi chapter, expelled, and the executive had to, denounce that, and for that, expulsion. So he's seated there. There are other, CDC lawmaker. Bernard Blue is also seated right there. Pima Jure is also here. Clarence Carr, who denounced his membership with CDC, but the LPDP is also here too.
All right. So, Haji, want to hold you there for a minute. President Boykai, according to the official protocol, should arrive at the grounds of the capital at 3:50 p.m. The joint legislature is to go into resolve into a joint session any minute from now. So, we want to keep the footage from the grounds of the capital coming in. But we can tell you that His Excellency President Joseph Yuman Boykai is making his way to the grounds of the capital. This is Spoon 107.5 FM. We're also live on Fabric 101.1. Trust 88.7 FM in Bombing County is relaying this broadcast as well as a host of other stations across the country relaying us as well. What is President Boykai going to report to the people's representatives? Well, the theme of this year's annual message is Rescue to Development. Have they rescued the country? Has the country been rescued? And now are we on the path of development? The arrest agenda was launched in Buchanan City, Grand Bassa County, a couple of weeks back. And what is the president going to tell Liberians? According to Article 58 of the 1986 Constitution, the president of Liberia must
Speaker,
present the
the
administration's
President of
legislative
the Liberation
program
Senate,
for the upcoming
and
session.
members of the
Okay, let's join the program.
Republic of Liberia, honorable ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor at this time to announce to you the second joint session of the 55th legislature for the purpose of the President of the Republic of Liberia to deliver his stand-up message. And now, therefore, this session is hereby called to order, and it is hereby so ordered.
His Excellency Chairman Pankong, Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, and President of the Liberian Senate, Senator Yobi Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tem of the Liberian Senate, Honorable Thomas P. Fallon, Doyen and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in fulfillment of Article 58 of the Liberian Constitution, we have gathered here for the President of the Republic of Liberia to deliver his annual message. Distinguished colleagues, the Chair will now entertain a motion to convene in the joint legislative section of the 55th legislature of the Republic of Liberia. Honorable James M. Colette, Representative Electoral District Number 2, Bond County.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Pro Tem or Deputy Distinguished Police,
I, James McRae Kule of Electoral District Number 2, Bone County, move, if I can obtain a second, that this legislative section be conveyed to a joint legislative section for the sole purpose of the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Yimabwaka Sr., to deliver the State of the Nation address. If I can obtain a second.
Honorable Dapan, member of Cape County County, Senator.
I, Taba Mabane Fabula, Senator Grand Cape County, do hereby second the motion.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without restating the motion, are you all ready to vote? All those in favor of making known by saying yea, those against nay, all those abstain, raise your right hand. With the yea having the vote, the motion is hereby carried, and it is hereby so ordered. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with the motion to convene in the joint section been put and carried, we now ask the Deputy Chief Clerk of the Honorable House of Representatives to give us an information as to the quorum that will allow us to do the Labrador business.
Honorable Richard Namwekun, Speaker, House of Representatives, and Presiding Officer of this joint sitting, His Excellency Jeremiah Bankun, Vice President of the Republic of Liberia and President of the Liberian Senate, Senator Nyomli Kanga Lawrence, President pro tempore of the Liberian Senate, Honorable Thomas P. Falla, Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, distinguished members of the 55th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia, I'm honored at this time to announce to you that records from the desk of the Secretary of Senate and mine indicate that there is a quorum for the transaction of business for today, which is for the purpose of receiving the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Nyama Sr., to deliver the State of the Nation address to the Liberian people. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chief Clerk. Honorable colleagues, with the report from the Deputy Chief Clerk, and this August body has the requisite quorum to do transaction for today. We have convened in this joint section for the President of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Newman Boaga Sr., to deliver his State of the Nation address. Therefore, I will ask the member of the Joint Committee on Executive, along with the second arm, to proceed to the chairman first. Committee on Executive, along with the second arm, to proceed to the chairman first. Please meet the chair. The Joint Committee on Executive. Please meet the chair.
At this moment, according to the protocol, the Joint Committee on Executive from the House of Representatives and the Liberian Senate will meet
Approach the chair.
at the main gate, the gate that is opposite the executive mansion, and usher in His Excellency President Joseph Human Boakai on the grounds of the capital. This is the Spoon Network's coverage of Sona 2025, bringing you images and audio from the grounds of the capital. The president motorcade slowly rolls in, as you can see from these pictures coming in. Limousine of His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Paika makes its way on the grounds of the capital. Wherever it is you watching us from, you welcome. Trust 87 FM relaying us there in Plumbing County and a host of other stations relaying us all across the Republic of Liberia. President Boakai now arrives on the grounds of the capital. Due to the condition of the joint chamber, it is all happening outside. President Boakai now returns on the very same ground, the very same spot of his inauguration on the 22nd of January 2024. My name is Diamond Slanger. Let's now rejoin the program. It's the Joint Committee on Executive going to meet His Excellency. Smile FM in Grand Jida County, Smile 98.6 FM in Zweju, Grand Jida County is also relaying this broadcast to the people of that part of Liberia. The president is about to disembark his vehicle and will then make a short trek to his seat of the podium. You do see Richard Nambekun, President Parker, has disembarked his vehicle. He's wearing a black business suit. He's been greeted by members of the Joint Committee on Executive and ushered in. The president now walks the red carpet and will move quickly up the podium.
Mr. Speaker and members of the 55th Legislature, the arrival of the President of the Republic of Liberia, the all rise.
He's wearing a black business suit and a purple-like tie to go with white undershirt. First Lady Atomo Kwakai wears predominantly green African suit with hair tie. She has Grand Cape Mount County. The president, escorted by his entourage, makes his way to the podium. And in a minute from now, President Barkai will fulfill Article 58 of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia and the podium, black shoes, black business suit. Ladies and gentlemen, Sona 2025 is on the way.
What? All right, please have a seat. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Representatives, Madam Pro Tem, members of the Senate, Associate Justices, members of the Judiciary, Madam Katumuwa Boaka, First Lady of the Republic of Liberia, there's a officials of political parties, prelates, members of religious organizations, our international and local partners, traditional leaders, chiefs and elders, my fellow Liberians, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We thank God Almighty, the preserver of our nation, and are grateful for his blessing upon us over the past 12 months and nearly 2 centuries of nationhood. As our work continues to confront vexing challenges, some existential, we must strive for a better and more peaceful, sustainable, and inclusive global community. Please permit me to take this moment to express my profound thanks and heartfelt gratitude to you, the people of Liberia, for your unwavering commitment to the peace and stability of our beloved country. Your dedication to keeping the peace reflects our conviction that progress must be grounded in unity and national solidarity. Mr. Speaker, and the honorable members of the legislature, we're here today in keeping with Article 58 of the Liberian Constitution, which mandates the President to deliver an annual message outlining the legislative agenda, report on the state of the economy and the general affairs of the Republic. A year ago, we addressed the citizens of this republic through you, following an epoch-defining transition that captivated the democratic world. At that time, we stood within the revered walls of the Capitol building, an enduring symbol of our democracy bestowed upon us by our forebears. Now, a year after the historic transition, we face a moment of truth that our democracy can be threatened by those who oppose the steady progress. However, the fact that we are reporting on our stewardship here today on the grounds of the People's House recently damaged by fire highlights the resilience of the Liberian people. I assure you that the security of the state and the sanctity of our republic, though may be assailed, may be threatened, however, it can never be broken. It will be preserved. No one's personal ambition can ever outweigh the importance of our peace and security. This rescue train is moving, and all those harboring mental reservations to hop on the boat and let us proceed with the business of the Liberian people together. Compatriots, when we assume leadership, we did so with a clear agenda, fully aware that the journey ahead will not be easy. We started with a 100-day plan to implement immediate measures aimed at addressing the people's needs and aspirations, providing relief from years of hardship and uncertainty. Even with limited resources, we made real progress in many areas after the first quarter. We improved public sector accountability and work on the road infrastructure while addressing issues in agriculture, health, education, technology, drug abuse, alongside key legislation. We recognize the immense challenges that lie before us, and though many problems persist, our country stands in a better place today than when we first began. I have dedicated countless hours to the welfare of the Liberian people, and with your unwavering support, we remain optimistic about the future of our promised nation. It is our faith in that promise that drives our vision for progress. Mr. Vice President, Speaker, Madam Pro Tem, and esteemed members of the 55th Legislature, as we come to fulfill our constitutional duty, I commend each of you for your hard work, particularly in passing 11 legislations, one joint resolution. The passage of the Act authorizing government to spend $41.3 million in February 2024, pending the approval of the budget, demonstrates your commitment to addressing urgent needs and funding development across all sectors. However, we must act swiftly on the outstanding proposals before us: the Presidential Transition Bill, the National Tourism Bill, and the Local Government Bill, among others. We also urge prompt attention to Bank Financial Institutions and Bank Financial Holding Companies Act of 2024 and the new zoning law that will impact national budget, 6 financing agreements to support economic growth, and 2 bills aimed at improving education and tax system. To empower young people and equip them with the skills necessary to meet national needs, we proposed the Liberia Youth Services Program, the SEP, and the Technical and Vocational Education Training TVET Commission Act of 2024. Looking ahead, I will be submitting new legislative proposals, including the Amended Payment System Act, the Liberia Insurance Regulatory Commission Act, and the Reverse Code of Conduct for Public Officials. Additionally, we will propose reforms in the state-owned enterprises through the establishment of State-Owned Enterprise Authority of Liberia, SEAL. These proposals are designed to improve governance, foster growth, promote transparency, and empower our citizens, paving the way for a better future for all. Delays in acting on them could jeopardize the success of the arrest agenda for inclusive development, AAID. In the year under review, we also issued 14 executive orders addressing the urgent needs of the government, including those establishing the Office of the War and Economic Crime Court and National Railway Authority. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Madam President Pro Tem, and members of the Fifth Legislature, Article 3 of our Constitution describes our government as a republic with 3 separate and coordinated branches. We must strengthen cooperation and dialogue across all branches of government with transparency and mutual respect. We must work together as partners in governance, united by our common goal of improving the lives of the Liberian people. We must therefore remain focused on the shared goal of progress and prosperity for the Republic. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Madam President Pro Tem, esteemed members of the legislature, allow me to give you some perspective to further understand where we are today. We inherited an economy in steep decline, with Liberians facing unprecedented hardship, including rising unemployment, inflation, and growing inequality. Before our administration, growth slowed to just 4.6%, while inflation surged to a double digit of 10.1%, driven largely by rising food and fuel prices. The current account debt at the time had worsened to 26.4% of the GDP. International reserves were dangerously low, just about 2.1 months of import cover, and debt burden had ballooned to 2.5 billion, with 54.6% of the GDP. Civil servants were facing extreme hardship due to pay harmonization and delayed salary payments, leaving them vulnerable to payday lenders and informal financial schemes like SUSU clubs. We simply did not just recognize these challenges and their impact on our citizens. We took decisive action to increase salaries of health workers, the police, and the teachers. We have taken steps necessary to restore economic stability and have made good progress. In 2024, our economy demonstrated resilience and steady growth with a revised real GDP growth of 5.1%. Key sectors driving the growth include mining, agriculture, fisheries, and services. Strategic investment in infrastructure and energy deployment, supported by international partners such as the World Bank, African Development Bank, the European Union, USAID, further bolstered this expansion. We have managed inflation prudently, reducing it to 7.7% by the end of 2024. down from 10.1% in 2023, thanks to the sound fiscal and monetary policies. We expect inflation to decrease further to 6% in 2025. The country's international reserve have improved to 458.9 million, and the Liberian dollar has appreciated by 4.7% against the US dollar. The General Bank has reduced the monetary policy rate from 20% to 17%, boosting confidence in the financial system. As a result, private sector credit has increased by 9.1%. Efforts to strengthen the financial governance are underway, focusing on reducing operational costs and addressing audit recommendations. Our participation in the IMF Extended Credit Facility as ECF program will help rebuild reserve, strengthen fiscal policy, and enhance domestic revenue through improved tax collection and streamlined exemptions. We have also made progress in modernizing financial system, improving access to finance from micro, small, medium enterprises, and increasing financial inclusion, which now cover 52% of the audit population. Implementing the National Electronic Payment System, and transition to cashless economy further demonstrate our commitment to a stable, inclusive, and resilient economy. The insurance sector is also being strengthened with reforms underway to establish an independent insurance commission. The establishment of the special economic zone will further diversify the economy, promote job creation, and foster inclusive development. Honorable legislators, over the past year, my administration has focused on transforming Liberia's investment climate. We are implementing policy changes to attract investment, including simplifying regulations, reducing red tape, and strengthening legal framework, while ensuring social protection and local empowerment. We have engaged both domestic and international investors, showcasing Liberia as a land of untapped opportunities. While some key agreements are still pending, I am pleased to report that we are actively negotiating with major multinational companies in energy, mining, agriculture, infrastructure, and technology. Once finalized, these negotiations are expected to bring over $3 billion in investment to our economy. Looking ahead, we anticipate a promising medium-term outlook with expected growth rate of 5.8% in 2025. We successfully passed the 2025 national budget in the amount of $880.7 million before the start of the fiscal year. The first time this has happened in the post-conflict period. Passage of the budget before the start of the fiscal year will also make the execution of the national budget more predictable and efficient. For many years, the government neglected to remit county development and social development funds to the counties, depriving citizens of essential resources for local government and development. However, we have begun reversing this trend by ensuring that these funds allocations for 2024 were fully dispersed to the counties. Also, for the first time in years, the government remitted to the road fund all road fund related revenue deposited in consolidated fund for enabling the implementation of several road rehabilitation and maintenance work during the year. The government arrests agenda for inclusive development AAID together with the county development agendas will help propel these efforts forward. Fellow citizens, while we have yet to reach optimal levels, our ongoing efforts will improve the livelihood of all Liberians. Despite global trends affecting community supply and prices, we have seen consistent declines in the cost of essential commodities, including rice and petroleum products. The price of 25 kg IR64 parboiled rice was reduced within the first 2 months of our leadership. In addition, we successfully implemented the measure to reduce pump prices, lowering the price of premium motor spirit PMS by 12.53% from $4.47 in January to $3.91 in December 2024. In fiscal year 2024, in the face of global challenges, Liberia made remarkable progress in domestic revenue mobilization. We collected $734,077 million in revenue, out of which domestic revenue collection stood at an impressive $695.3 million, a 12% growth over the previous year. This achievement marks the highest domestic revenue collection in our nation's history. On the expenditure side, we spent a total of $661.4 million to execute the government functions and projects. To strengthen progress, we have implemented needed tax reforms, introducing the value-added tax VAT in April 2024 to replace the outdated goods and services tax GST. We are also investing in digital tax administration and building state-of-the-art customs inspection facility at the Freeport of Monrovia to increase efficiency and expand our tax base. These interventions and reforms align with the regional standard, improve tax compliance, and are expected to create a more stable revenue stream for the future. The Rabas International Airport, a vital gateway to Liberia and a potential driver of economic development, has faced operational challenges. However, under this administration, we have charted a new course, making significant strides to unlock its promise as a regional hub. To enhance safety and operations at the airport, we have invested additional fire trucks, backup generators, and navigational aids. Ongoing engagements with developers are focused on expanding the airport and improving its infrastructure and management. These initiatives still instill confidence among global airline operators and travelers, reflecting our commitment to positioning Liberia as an attractive destination for global business travel. Recently, we welcomed Ethiopian Airlines, which connects Liberia to over 150 global destinations and reduce air travel costs at key markets, including the USA, Europe, and Dubai. We are also in advanced discussion with carriers like Qatar Airways to establish our air service agreement. My government has worked tirelessly to rebuild trust with international financial institutions and donor community. In 2024, we secured $210 million financing package from the IMF Extended Credit Facility, ECF, to address macroeconomic imbalances and improve debt sustainability from 2024 to 2027. Our inclusion in the ECF has unlocked support from both multinational and bilateral partners. The World Bank provided $60 million in support, $40 million of which was budget support, and the balance $20 million went to special disaster fund for Liberia to be administered by Liberia. The World Bank has also pledged $40 million in the budget support for this year in 2026. We secured a $16 million grant from the European Union for 2025 to 2027, while the African Development Bank provided $40 million for road projects. During the period under review, Liberia also received $398.2 million in up-budget official development assistance for critical sectors such as health, agriculture, and infrastructure. I am pleased to inform you that bilateral relations have secured a commitment from government of the United States for the Millennium Challenge Corporation MCC Compact eligibility. This is a significant achievement as it potentially exposes Liberia to substantial financial support in its development when completed in a couple of years. This milestone reflects confidence in the step we've taken as a nation, particularly in promoting transparency, making sound economic decisions, and strengthening governance. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the legislature, ladies and gentlemen, Liberia's development challenges are historical, yet our current national circumstances dictate urgent action. Upon coming to office, my government immediately began forming a new national development plan and counter development agenda CDA for the next 5 years. I am pleased to report that the plan and the 15 county agenda have been meticulously developed and validated by stakeholders across the country. They received strong endorsement from the Cabinet, the National Steering Committee, and our international partners, leading to a successful launch on January 15, 2025. This initiative, known as the Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development, AID, is built on foundations of the Pro-Poor Agenda for Prosperity and the Development and the Agenda for Transformation. The AID is a set to cap Vision 2023, Liberia's ambitious goal of becoming a more capable and developmental state, ultimately achieving lower middle income status. The Arrest Agenda aims to drive economic transformation from diversification focusing on agriculture, rural development, and infrastructure. It emphasizes the rule of law, improved governance, and anti-corruption. The agenda also seeks to invest in human capital by transforming the education system, fostering technology and innovation, prioritizing public health and sanitation, promoting tourism and environmental sustainability. The total estimated cost of the transformative development plan is $8.4 billion. Our total 60% of the funding will come from the government and international donors, with the remaining from private sector investment. The success of AID and the county development agendas will also depend on the active participation of our youth. We are dedicated to making available what they need, including the opportunities necessary to unlock their full potential. Mr. Vice President, Speaker, Madam President Pro Tem, esteemed members of the Legislature, Associate Justices of the Supreme Court, and fellow Liberians. When we took office a year ago, we were given the mandate by the Liberian people to steer the nation toward progress and development. It is often said Liberia's challenges stem from the state of its own institution, and that our country's crisis, fundamentally a crisis of governance. We cannot speak about the state of the republic only in terms of material conditions of the people, the so-called bread and butter issues. We must go beyond policy to address the deeper social and political dynamics that affect us, the undercurrent issues that run deep in our country and society, including addressing historical social privileges that tend to divide us and create tension. We are one people with a common destiny as a nation, and therefore all privileges based on political, economic, social, and cultural lines and our stereotypes and adversarial to the values of an equitable society. This means divisions based on religion, social status, literacy and illiteracy, gender and policy must not be allowed to divide us and determine how we live as a people. In this regard, I call on our friends on the other side of the political divide, including the opposition parties, join us in fostering a government of inclusion. Our democracy should not be defined by elections where the winner is perceived to have taken all. Instead, our path should not be on the next election, but the next generation. We must embrace genuine unity and reconciliation. Today, I'm pleased and proud to report that despite the challenges we inherited, we have made meaningful progress in key sectors. Liberia has immense potential for large-scale agriculture that will create jobs, feed our people, and strengthen our economy. However, this vital sector has not received the attention it deserves. Over the past year, we have taken significant steps to advance agriculture and enhance self-sufficiency. To help reduce our reliance on rice import, we cultivate over 4,000 hectares of rice. This year, we aim to double our efforts by cultivating an additional 6,000 hectares. We are constructing 5 mechanization centers in Bong, Lofa, Magibi, Montserrat, and Nimba counties to enable farmers to access essential machinery for improved production. Progress is underway in mechanizing cassava cultivation aimed at both consumption and starch production. We have directed substantial support towards cocoa and oil palm production, resulting in 10,000 hectares of cocoa cultivation and investment in palm oil agro-business. We are also in the process of establishing a palm vegetable oil refining to meet man's commercial production. My administration has increased agriculture budget by over 200% compared to the previous year. Our National Agriculture Plan highlights the value chain with dedicated funding to enhance agribusiness and create jobs. To combat food insecurity and support vulnerable populations, we have funded a comprehensive food security and nutrition survey to assess food security in our communities. To foster innovation and growth in the agriculture sector, we successfully hosted the National Agriculture Fair in Kakatam, Agibi, which now will be reactivated as an annual event with the next one scheduled in Nimba County 2025. Mr. Vice President, Speaker, and members of the legislature, ladies and gentlemen, a top priority for my administration is the development of our road infrastructure, essential for convenient travel, better service, and boosting the commerce. The poor state of our roads has long contributed to rural neglect and stunted our development. It is unacceptable that out of 13,000 kilometers of proposed road network, only 1,000 kilometers are paved. Improving road connectivity is the cornerstone of our development agenda. In the past year, we delivered on our promise to recondition and maintain major road corridors within the first 100 days. We have continued to maintain 783 kilometers of major road nationwide, making key routes such as Buraville to Bopolu, Wanyama to Foya, Foya to Medicoma, Red Route, Caribbean Pass, resulting in reduced commodity prices. Since January 2024, we expanded the RIA road project from 8 to 20 kilometers of paved road. The Sanekuri to Lugatu Road project is now 85% complete, with 42 kilometers paved, while the Sakripe to Tapeta Road project has reached 50% completion. With financing from the World Bank Rural Economic Transformation Project RETRAP, we completed the biodiversity study on the Tabita to Zedru corridor, including Toll Town to Zedru. We have also secured financing and finance design for key corridors, including Zedru to Davistown, Putukan to Kerpo, and Barclayville to Southstown to Clinton. In addition, we are happy to announce that paving the Medina to Rabosport Road will commence in March this year. To enhance safety and vibrancy in Monrovia, we have expanded public spaces by creating alleys, clearing drainage ditches, and installing solar streetlights. In the first quarter of 2025, we anticipate progress in the Tubman Boulevard Overseas Bridge project. Looking ahead, we plan new bridge works and civil construction on major corridors, ensuring further connectivity infrastructure development across Liberia. Our natural resources should be the source of inclusive development. We have taken decisive actions to combat illicit mining, address environmental degradation, and rebuild public confidence. Honorable Speaker, distinguished members of the 55th Legislature, I am pleased to report that we have received a mineral resource survey report from the government of the People's Republic of China. The report provides new insights in Liberia's mineral resource potential and represents the most comprehensive scientific investigation conducted in over 5 decades. We extend our gratitude to the People's Republic of China for funding this important project. The Ministry of Mines and Energy has already analyzed the data from the survey, and results indicate a significant shift away from the country's previous sole focus on iron ore, diamond, and gold. We have discovered lithium, neodymium, silver, nickel, zinc, uranium, chromium, lead, tin, cobalt, niobium, coltan, tantalum, manganese, copper, zirconium, and molybdenum, among others. I have instructed the Ministry of Justice to act lawfully and promptly to address claims concerning the Mount Blair iron ore deposit in Nimba County. The Liberia Electricity Corporation has been returned to its statutory structure. The corporation successfully negotiated additional electricity import for Cote d'Ivoire and reduced electricity tariffs from Bong and Nimba County. Construction of the 30 megawatt solar power plant in Harrisburg, Montreal County began in 2024. The project is expected to be completed by October 2025. Our plan is to electrify 100,000 households every year using both the grid and the renewable energy sources. Our goal is to achieve a 75% access rate by 2030 and eliminate the existing urban-rural disparity. We believe that energy access is essential to unlocking potentials in agriculture, road, education, healthcare, and tourism. We are encouraged by significant oil and gas discoveries in neighboring Cote d'Ivoire 2021, 2023, 2024, where substantial deposits were found in geological formations similar to those in Liberia in the Upper Basin. Seismic data from our basin have been licensed to major players like Total Energy, Petrobras, and the mid-tier companies such as Murphy. The interest from these global energy giants boosts our optimism for oil and gas exploration in Liberia. Also, Liberia is collaborating with a neighboring country to complete the Africa Atlantic gas pipeline. My government is committed to facilitating its passage through our territory, integrating Liberia's energy infrastructure with renewable sources to meet domestic export needs, and advancing clear energy solutions for our country. Mr. Vice President, Speaker, members of the legislature, in today's globalized world, advancement in telecommunication and digitization offer endless opportunities for social and economic benefit. Recognizing this, my government is committed to expanding access to affordable, quality digital infrastructure and telecommunication services to drive economic growth. During the past year, the government made significant progress in reforming Liberia's telecom sector. For the first time, we have implemented regulations that provide clarity and transparency for mobile network services, including mobile money and value-added innovation. We are also at the verge of enabling interconnectivity between mobile money providers, allowing citizens to transfer funds across the network. These measures promote fair competition and enhance consumer protection. Last year, we launched a digital transformation initiative focused on digital literacy programs to train young Liberians in various skills. I am pleased to announce that we have trained over 10,000 young people across 15 counties and empower 50 teams with seed funding to start digital business. We also empowered 4-year degree scholarship to 15 participants, each representing a county. In the next 5 years, the private sector plans to invest $300 million in telecom sector to enhance services and foster innovation as part of Liberia's digital transformation agenda. 2 operators have been licensed for cross-border connectivity, roaming agreements with Sierra Leone, Gambia, Ghana, which will lower telecommunications costs for travelers. Additionally, the recently approved Starlight services will provide universal internet access to rural and underserved communities, protecting them from disruptions like previous ACE cable failure that caused significant economic loss. Mr. Vice President, honorable members of the legislature, we cannot reach our ambitious development goals without properly preparing our citizens, especially the youth, through access to quality education. Liberia's once celebrated for its educational system has seen standards decline, depriving men of a fundamental right. Education is not a privilege. In 2024, we inherited an educational sector faced with significant challenges. 2 million in scholarship arrears, poorly qualified teachers, and inadequate infrastructure. Many public schools are deteriorated, with several projects delayed or abandoned. To address these issues, we committed $1 million to clear scholarship arrears, including West Africa's senior examination SEC, with over $500,000 already paid. We assessed 14 counties, validated teaching workforce that transitioning qualified volunteer teachers into our system. We launched $75 million fundamental learning project with USAID, focusing on reading and math for third graders, and equipped 156 public schools with digital learning platforms and solar power. New policies such as the National School Quality Standards and the Center for Excellence will ensure high educational standards. At the primary level, we are launching the One Child, One Chair initiative to address the shortage of chairs for school children nationwide. At the tertiary level, we have assessed the need for renovating the University of Liberia's facility and initiated transformational leadership efforts to build the university endowment, enhancing its national and global effectiveness as a center for academic excellence in the coming year. We have taken deliberate steps to combat hunger and food insecurity in schools by allocating $1 million United States dollars to the school feeding program for primary schools. Our government interventions and investment in the education sector in the coming year will enhance education delivery, giving our children the opportunity they deserve for a brighter future. Mr. Vice President, honorable members of the legislature, health and sanitation are central to my administration's priority, forming a key part of the arrest agenda. And the first in our message, we committed to addressing both historical and emerging challenges in the health sector, assuring access to quality health care for all of our people. Despite significant hurdles, we have made notable progress. Today, we are pleased to report that public health centers in all 15 counties have received essential medicine, and community pharmacy initiative is being piloted nationwide. Maternal and child mortality rates have decreased, with child vaccination rates rising from 64.9% to 73% in 2024. We have also seen improvements in the tuberculosis treatment success rate. However, drug and substance abuse remains an epidemic. As a result of the danger and a wide-ranging impact on our society, we declare drug substance abuse as a health emergency and a threat to national security. To date, we have made steady progress in raising awareness and preventing drug abuse. To demonstrate our commitment, my Vice President and I led the example and by undertaking drug tests. Several at-risk youth have completed rehabilitation, reintegrated into our society. Notably, we acquired 50 acres in Bensonville, Monterey County, where pre-construction activities have begun for a new psychiatric hospital to build mental health and substance abuse. A regional diagnostic center is under development in Balatuabon County with 38.7 acres secured and pre-construction underway. This center will enhance diagnostic services, particularly in rural Liberia. We intend to establish 3 additional regional diagnosis centers across the country. We are advancing several health infrastructure projects, including 8 of the 15 staff housing in Zredru nearing completion. There are 23 ongoing infrastructure projects, such as construction and renovation of hospital health centers in Zredru, Barclayville, and other parts of the country. In addition, 6 oxygen plants have been commissioned in Monserrado at GFK, Lofa, Nimba, Grand Kira, and Grand Cru. We are pleased to announce that with the support of the Chinese government, we have broken ground for the construction of a $16 million national clinical and diagnostic laboratory at number 14 hospital, military hospital in Margibi County. On sustainable health financing, we are making progress with the National Security Health Insurance Scheme and the bill to create a National Health Equity Fund for universal health coverage will soon be submitted for your consideration. As part of the groundbreaking health initiative, we are addressing the cardiovascular issues in Liberia. In collaboration with the University of Ghana Medical Center, UGMC, we are establishing the state-of-the-art cardiothoracic GFK. The partnership emphasizes cross-training medical professionals equipped in advanced facilities and performing life-saving surgeries. A notable success in the open heart surgery performed on 64-year Mr. Fokpa Cover at the UGMC, with all expenses covered by my administration. By the grace of God, Mr. Cover is here today to share the moment of triumph. Mr. Cover, please stand to be acknowledged. I don't know where Fokpa. Thank you. By mid-2025, our goal is to perform Some of these critical surgeries local at GFK significantly improving access to cardiac care for all Liberians. Poor sanitation, inadequate clean water supply, and aging infrastructure, especially in Monrovia and other cities, have long posed challenges. 42% of our population still lacks basic toilet facilities. Addressing these public health concerns is a key priority in our development agenda, and significant progress has been made in past years. We successfully repaired the 1 million gallon city reservoir in central Monrovia with support from the World Bank, restoring water supply for the first time in 10 years. Improvements include new chlorine dosing unit at the White Plains Water Treatment Plant, rehabilitation of a hardware booster to enhance supply in multiple areas, and expansion of water system in Bushel Island, Rock Hill, Soul Clinic, and New Georgia. We are replacing the 36-inch pipe on the main transmission line from White Plains to Monrovia with a 48-inch pipe. A new water system is under construction in Buffalo City, set for dedication in February. We plan to connect an additional 3,000 homes in Monrovia and Painesville this year. With USAID support, we are conducting the feasibility of rehabilitating the Kakatra Buchanan water system. This year, we will construct water system for Plebo and Greenfield and rehabilitation Red Roof system. Additionally, over 1,700 new and reconnected customers have benefited from ongoing civic improvement. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Madam President, and esteemed members of the legislature, associate justices of the Supreme Court, fellow Liberians, our country is fortunate to have many qualified, capable women who have challenged traditional jobs. Gender sensitivity and inclusion is a high priority in my administration. Currently, women hold 39% of the ministerial positions, 31% of deputy minister positions. This trend continues to the superintendent level, where women make up 40% of all appointments. While we celebrate these achievements, we must also address the serious issue facing children and battered women in our country. In 2024, our government made significant strides in promoting women's empowerment and protecting children. We launched a national 116 EBV cell call centers, which provide confidential 24/7 platform for survivors of gender-based violence to report incidents and access vital services, including counseling and legal assistance. We also allocated $1.8 million in plan of International for Liberian Women Empowerment Project, which, with assistance from the World Bank, aims to enhance women economic empowerment through small businesses support and address harmful social norms over 700 communities. This project benefits 36,000 women across the country. Regarding social protection, nearly 4,000 impoverished households in Grand Bassa, Grand Cru counties receive cash transfer from the Recovery of Economic Activity for Liberia Informal Social Employment Realize project. The government disbursed total of $110 $812,770 million Liberian dollars uh, and $770 to vulnerable houses. We thank the World Bank for providing the loan for the scheme, as well as the French and other friendly governments. For children's welfare, we launched the Support a Child, Save the Future project, discovering that over 366 children were living on the streets. With the help of the various partners, we identified more than 5,000 children in Montserrat County for assistance, connecting over 4,000 to financial support for schooling. Additionally, more than 600 children are enrolled in family strengthening programs. 702 have been placed in 19 public schools, receiving livelihood support for their caregivers. Honorable members of the legislature, a year ago, as we began our stewardship, we declared that business as usual approach to governance will be a thing of the past. We remain committed to promoting openness, transparency, and accountability across our government. In line with this commitment, we have supported the independence of integrity institutions. The General Auditing Commission, GAC, has published results for 60 out of 80 audits, including those conducted before my administration. Key institutions audited include the Executive Protection Unit, the Central Bank, the Government Consolidated Fund, and the Liberia Telecommunication Authority. Some audits conducted before my tenure revealed serious system weaknesses and millions unaccounted public funds. My government will continue working closely with the GAC, the National Legislature, and Ministry of Justice to prevent theft, waste, and abuse. Unprecedented audits of the Office of the President, the Judiciary, the Office of the Chief Justice, and the Senate demonstrate our collective determination to promote accountability. Similarly, independent auditing agents have embedded internal auditors in 91 out of 131 spending entities to ensure accountability for public funds. We have appointed the Ombudsman after years of delay and introduced performance management and compliance system. Cabinet members and agencies has now signed codes of conduct, performance contract with the President, and I have declared and published our asset as well as signed the code of conduct. The Vice President, Madam Senate Pro Tem, Mr. Speaker, distinguished guests, let us address the present concern that affect every facet of our society: integrity in governance. Last year, I spoke candidly about how systemic corruption undermines trust, hinders progress, and tarnishes our reputation. A new beginning is needed, a Liberia where transparency and accountability are cornerstones of our government. While corruption remains a formidable adversary, we must recognize the progress that we have made. Our determination has led to more transparent systems, established accountability measures, and fostered ethical practices. Citizens are increasingly aware and willing to speak out against corruption while leaders are committed to integrity. Our integrity institutions have unfettered access to the presidency, reflecting strong political will. Payroll audits across several ministries have removed thousands of ghost names, saving millions. Our actions will not stop at the past. We will institute audits of all expenditures over the past year and address any violation of public trust. Liberians yearn for decisive action against these national menace, and I vow to deliver. We call on national legislature and the judiciary to join us as allies in this patriotic journey. Acting on audit reports and fast-tracking corruption cases will restore public confidence in government. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Madam Pro legislators and social justices of the Supreme Court, and fellow Liberians. In 2024, public service underwent significant reforms, focused on increasing accountability and efficiency. The Employees Status Regulation Project improved payroll integrity and saved over $8 million. We also introduced national policy guidelines for recruiting independent consultants, reducing their numbers from nearly 1,000 to 94 and cutting costs from 6.1 million to 1.4 million, saving an additional 4.7 million. These initiatives further transparency and enhance public service efficiency. We conducted a workforce analysis that revealed a skilled gap on aging workforce, a 31% underrepresentation of women, guiding targets initiated for a more diverse and capable workforce. Key reforms also included reconstructing the Civil Service Board of Appeal, launching National Civil Service Training Center, reviewing wage disparity, and improving retirement pension process. In view of this, we call on you, members of the legislature, to consider the timely passage of the draft bill to fully operationalize the Civil Service Commission in keeping with Article 89 of the Constitution. On the communication front, the Liberia broadcasting system is making significant progress in the construction of the new television and radio expansion complex, which is ahead of schedule. This $5.5 million project funded by the People's Republic of China through the China Aid includes complete refurbishing of the existing infrastructure and introduction of modern advanced equipment. Once completed, LBS radio and television network will experience substantial improvement in the ability to inform, educate, and entertain the public. My government is dedicated to promoting freedom of the press, fostering an environment where the media can thrive. To support this commitment, operational licenses were issued to 45 new print and electronic media institutions during the period under review. In an age where information is more accessible than ever, social media shapes our agenda. The importance of a responsible press cannot be overstated. As citizens, we must encourage ethical journalism that prioritizes truth and accuracy over sensitization as a role of responsible press in preserving our democracy is indispensable. As we face the daunting challenges of climate change and global warming, Liberia remains steadfast in advancing environmental sustainability. In 2024, we developed regulations to conserve air, water, and soil with international climate financing. We are constructing coastal defense to protect vulnerable areas such as West Point, Greenville City from sea erosion. We have enhanced climate reporting by establishing a meteorological center and the Climate Smart Lab at the University of Liberia. Our commitment extends to enforcing environmental laws and signing international agreements to mitigate climate impact. Liberia nationally determined contributions, NDC, are ambitious, aiming for 64% reduction in emission by 2030. We are expanding our NDCs to encompass freshwater ecosystem, land rights, and youth involvement, reinforcing Liberia's leadership in global climate fight. Positioned to benefit from the carbon market, with over 42% of the Upper Guinea rainforest under our stewardship, we are developing a legal framework to facilitate participation in these markets. The National Climate Change Steering Committee is leading the efforts with support from key international partners. Honorable members of the legislature, as we address people today, we focus on critical issues of land governance. Young our citizens, land is one of our most vital resources, a gift from God and our forefathers that offers opportunities for livelihood and economic development through investment. However, Liberia faces escalating land conflict. Our court systems are overwhelmed with land cases, and headlines highlight disputes between investors and communities alongside powerful individuals grabbing land from the vulnerable. Land conflicts in Liberia are rooted in historical grievances, poor governance, and increasing pressure on land use. I assure you that we are taking bold steps toward change, ensuring our people receive historical justice and, more importantly, providing them with opportunity to make productive use of their resources. In 2024, we issued these to 24 land-owning communities, securing almost 1 million acres land and benefiting more than 200,000 Liberians. We also imposed moratorium on public land sales to curb speculative grabs, which will be lifted only after guidelines are established. These efforts are aimed to enhance tenure security, resolve conflict, and promote sustainable land investment throughout Liberia. We will continue to prioritize crucial efforts. Mr. Vice President, Speaker, members of the House of Representatives, Madam Pro Tempore, members of the Senate, Associate Justices, and members of the Judiciary, Madam Dean, members of the Cabinet, my government has given Liberia's standing in the world a top priority following reputational setbacks in the last few years. In past year, Liberia's foreign policy and external relations have seen many shifts that have lifted country's image internationally. These steps have begun to restore the country's reputation, repositioning us as a respected actor, both regional and globally. During the year, we step up effort to establish new bilateral relations while engaging with others to deepen existing relations. Key initiatives have raised Liberia's profile and reinforce our commitment to stability, peace, and economic development. I am pleased to announce that we established diplomatic relations with 6 new countries: Barbados, Bahrain, Uzbekistan, Croatia, El Salvador, and Bolivia. We also signed 9 new bilateral cooperation agreements with our eastern neighbor, Cote d'Ivoire, and signed 15 new agreements with Morocco in the area of trade, agriculture, education, cultural exchange, mining, natural resource governance, among others. Our engagement with the European Union has resulted in 108 million euros, about 110,000 million United States dollars budget envelope, reflecting the international community's confidence in Liberia's future. Focusing on our home region, Liberia took a leadership role in revitalizing the Mano River Union by convening a meeting of ministries of foreign affairs, finance, and defense in Monrovia. Subsequently, Liberia negotiated a roadmap with Morocco on behalf of the sub-regional, leading to an agreement that included funding for the construction of a new Mano River Union Secretariat office. Within ECOWAS, Liberia has supported efforts to preserve the unity of the community by behind scenes engaging with the Alliance of the Sahel State, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. These efforts continue. Since 1961, when Liberia served a half term on the UN Security Council, in 1970, when Liberia's Angie Brooks Randall served a one-year term as president of the UN General Assembly, Liberia had not held any comparable global governance leadership role. We have to change this. We launched at the General Assembly in September 2024 of Liberia's bid for a non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council 2026-2027 term. I am proud to report that Liberia has secured key endorsement for its candidacy, receiving support from both the African Union and ECOWAS. Liberia stood with Ukraine in protecting its sovereignty and has supported a ceasefire in Gaza, as well as return of the UN Agency for Palestine to serve humanitarian needs of the people in Gaza. Additionally, we believe our global standing has been enhanced through the reform of our passport system. In the bid to ensure integrity and international acceptance of our passport, we have cancelled and recalled all privileged passports issued for the past 6 years, a measure that is now being adopted by neighboring countries. This measure ensures that Liberia's passport system is secured, reliable, and trusted worldwide. Furthermore, we have improved the efficiency of our passport services for timely and accessible processing for all citizens. These actions, along the new interim security and screening protocols, have improved the application and the processing system. This has resulted in a 60% decrease in passport processing time, safeguarding the integrity of the passport as a reliable global identity for our citizens. In view of this, I call on all our Liberians to join us in making 2025 a year to regain Liberia's global prominence. Mr. Vice President, Speaker, members of the legislature, my government believes that Liberia's diaspora community is potentially one of the country's important development assets. The diaspora is an extension of our citizenry having left homeland in large numbers in the aftermath of the bloody 1980 military coup d'etat and devastating civil war that ensued. When we addressed this body in January last year, we made clear that Liberians in the diaspora have at stake the future of their country, and my administration will ensure that their contribution to Liberia are institutionalized and fully honored. It is in this recognition of that we instituted policies that have engaged members of the diaspora community in the past year across all facets of our national life and development. A new program styled Annual Year of Return was designed to organize the yearly visits of Liberians to their motherland in ways that make their stay not only welcoming, but also a means to explore opportunities to bond them with their compatriots and invest in the development of our country. As my government proposed last year, the highlight of this engagement will be the holding of the first Liberia Diaspora Conference, National Development in April 2025 in Washington, D.C. This conference will provide a platform to discuss, re-engage, and participate in their country's development. Once again, I would like to recommend the legislature and previous administration to commend them for their work to eliminate the unjust barriers imposed on citizens who have chosen to seek opportunities abroad. I am pleased that the slogan, "Once a Liberian, always a Liberian," now holds genuine significance. During the past year in review, the nation mourned the loss of some of its prominent citizens. Among the many who transitioned include former Vice President Benedict Warner, former Interim Vice President Senator John Gray, former Nimba County Senator Prince Johnson, former Montserrat County Senator Joyce Musus Freeman Sumo, former Lofa County Senator Sumo Jikubi, former Grand Crew County Senator and former President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, Petrus Sebe Watterson, and esteemed elder Alhaji Ahmadu Sharif, among many others. The full list will be published. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, and members of the House of Representatives, Madam Pro Tem, members of the Senate, Associate Justices, members of the Judiciary. Before I conclude this address, let me invoke another moment of truth in the supreme interest of our country. Beyond my assessment of the challenges we face, certain intangibles impel my actions as follows. One, I will propose an action to plan to address the state of our nation's unity. Two, I will propose a review of our Constitution to address shortcomings in the organic law. Number three, we will propose comprehensive electoral reforms to strengthen our electoral process and democratic credentials. Four, I will institute plans for the proper burial of the former President William R. Togo and Samuel K. Doe. Five, we will propose a plan to recognize ECOWAS for their vital contribution to maintaining peace and stability during our crucial times in Liberia's history. Six, we will convene the National Conference on Post-War Infrastructure to discuss the rebuilding and the development of our post-war infrastructure. We started this journey together with the faith that we can face and address our difficulties, course, correct, and set a path for transformed future. Let us with compassion continue to stand united as we move forward hand in hand towards the prosperous, inclusive future of our nation. After 1 year of office, we can confidently say that the state of our nation is better than when we began. Our progress in 12 productive months is just the beginning, and prospects are encouraging. As we begin to implement and achieve the arrest agenda for inclusive development goals this year, in the coming years, we move decidedly and resolutely forward, thinking Liberia, loving Liberia, and building Liberia together. May God bless us all and serve our republic. Thank you.
There you have it, President Joe
After
Biden
then you just shake your hand.
What?
After then you just shake your hand.
the
Drink.
as stated by Article 58 of the 19th.
Both committees should please escort the president.
The president will be
Executive committee.
by the executive committee, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. President Boakai will depart. We've been reliably informed that part in the country today, right after the delivery of the State of the Nation address to Tanzania, and will be back on of January 2025. So is that President Boakai
Hello.
and he will be back on Wednesday, the 29th of January 2025. Well, we'll be taking reactions as well. You've listened to the president's annual message. What's your takeaway from Sona 2025? We'll be taking reactions as well. So wherever it is you watching us is work. Um, or
I don't have to like David. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, having exhausted the purpose for which we have convened here today, the presiding will entertain a motion for the dissolution or the adjournment of today's section. Senator Johnny K. Perry of Bone County. Wait for him. We recognize Senator James Bunny.
Mr. President, I move that this adjourned section be adjourned. If I can obtain a second.
Honorable Mary G. Johnson, Representative, Industrial District Number 2, Grand Junior County.
Honorable Speaker, I, Mary G. Johnson, of District Number 2, Grand Junior County. So, second.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it has been moved and seconded, having exhausted the purpose for which the legislature convened in the joint legislative section. The motion duly seconded. Are you all ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. All those against, nay. Those abstaining, please raise your right hand. Distinguished colleagues, with the aye taking the vote, the joint session is hereby adjourned, and it is hereby so ordered.
As a joint session was called and opened for the president to address the nation. President Boyka concluding by saying, looking at the soft copy of his speech in my possession, says that after 1 year in office, we can confidently say that the state of our nation is better than when we began. Those are the words of Liberia's president, His Excellency Joseph Yoman Boakai, having delivered his State of the Nation address. According to our trackers, 1 hour 25 minutes speech delivered by the president. As to what is your analysis of all of what was said by the president, he did report to the people's representatives, the legislators, senators, and representatives alike, that reporting his 1 year in power, his annual message that encompasses the year in review, and his legislative agenda for the ensuing year as well. We'd love to say thank you to our teams scattered all across the country. The president did say a lot. This will be analyzed and critically, vetted by the Spoon Talk crew tonight on the Spoon Network, and I'm sure by other media outlets and Liberians in their various corners as well. We will be speaking to folks who are in attendance, but now let's go to our crew there in Painesville City that are going to bring us reactions as well. NS Binda and crew, pleasant evening to you. Where exactly are you now? Ernest. Ernest, are you hearing us? Okay, so Ernest is there somewhere in Painesville City, GSA. Ernest Binda, are you hearing us? Okay, let's go to Haji Masale and Nelson Colette. But firstly, with Nelson. Nelson Colette, where exactly on the grounds are you?
Well, Diamond, I'm right before the stage here on the grounds of the legislature, where the president just few minutes ago concluded his annual message, his second annual message, addressing some key national issues. Yes, Diamond, I'm getting you. You getting me?
Yeah, Alfred, just hold on a bit and let me deal with Nelson for a minute. I'll join you, please. Yeah, Nelson, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so as I speak to you, Diamond, the president, upon the completion of his message, exited the grounds. He was escorted by his team. There are lawmakers, other officials of government who stayed on the ground. But everybody at this point, everyone is trying to make their way, from the grounds of the legislature. I understand there's a reception at the other end, and an environment we showed to our folks just a while ago. That's where the rest of the activity is now headed towards. But again, this is where we are. It went on all peaceful, and yes, the president was able to address the nation as planned, and everything went well. Prior to now, there were concerns, especially with some of the lawmakers making the decision to boycott the Sona. Those were concerns. Some were even skeptical as to whether there wouldn't be anything such as violence and stuff like that. But initially, when we got here earlier, prior to the State of the Nation address, we saw a huge security presence as well. The protocol has been very tight here since this morning, and that has, contributed to the peaceful nature of the program here today up Capitol Hill.
Okay, Nelson, while the president was delivering his message, we were also keen on looking at absentees from the message, not to take away from whatever President might have made today, but did you see any former heads of state present and any former vice president as well present at President Biden second sooner?
I mean, you mean those who were absent or those who were present? I didn't quite get your question.
Former heads of state present.
Okay, so former heads of state, from the time of the build up to the time when the official program started, I didn't get to see any of the former heads of state. Interested when the program started, especially when the session was called to order and all of that. Then, of course, the movement here was being restricted. There was a particular seat reserved. That there was a row reserved for former heads of state. Up to the time of the start of the program, I didn't get to see any of the former heads of state in that particular row. But then, when the program got started, apparently some of them came, but I didn't get to see anyone because once the program got started, movement then at the time got restricted.
Okay, now so let me hold you there a bit and connect with Haji Masale. He's right on the same grounds there of the capital. Better still, he might have had a different view. And as well, we'll get to you, Ernest Binda, as you want to speak to some Liberians to give their own take on the president's second state of the nation address. Let's now connect with Haji Masale. Haji, pleasant evening to you. Haji Masale, are you hearing us? Haji, are you there? Okay, so we seem to have lost audio coordination with Haji, but let's see if we can go to Ernest Binda, who's somewhere there on the GSA road. Ernest, kindly unmute your microphone for us and allow us to do all of the controls from studio. Please unmute your microphone so we can listen to the gentleman that is right before your camera lens. Ernest Binda, kindly unmute your microphone. Okay, so Ernest also We're not getting Ernest. Let's go back to Nelson Colette. So yes, people concerned whether our traditional allies or partners were in attendance. The U.S. embassy was represented by Ambassador Turner and his entourage. The UK present as well. Key amongst those we did see at the program. But Ernest, where exactly are you now?
Okay.
Ernest, go ahead.
Yeah, it's done, Diamond.
It's unmuted,
Okay,
Diamond.
Alfred, go ahead.
It's unmuted, Diamond. It's unmuted.
That's what I'm saying. Alfred should go ahead. You guys go ahead. Don't mind the delay. Just let's go ahead. Let's go back to Nelson Colette. So Nelson, you want to engage those who are present.
Here on the GSA road, here, sleeping.
Aji, please go ahead and engage those who are present. Let's get their views before we wrap up.
So tell us, what do you make of the President's State of the Nation address?
My takeaway, firstly, let me congratulate the president for ever coordinating the peace of our country. We are the young people, while it is true we are jobless, but we are grateful to God that we have the opportunity to see this all occasion again. Unfortunately, we have had our experience while for early we have not had. Today, members of the Supreme Court bench were asking for whatever reason we don't know. And we were expecting again for the president to have used his office to have resolved the two speaker saga, but today what we experience for us as young people, we think that it was not a good thing for us to learn from. We see as a bad example.
So if you were to grade this government the first year in power, how can your grade system be?
So I will grade 4.
4%?
Yeah.
Out of 100%?
Yeah.
So what's your expectation in the second year?
So my expectation is for the government to double up. Let the government listen to the people. Let the government stop breaking our law, respect the tenants law, don't do unlawful things.
What are specific areas that you would love to see transformation in the second year?
So I would like to see youth development.
Thank you so much for talking with us. Okay, we have another young man. Good afternoon. What's your name? So tell us, what do you make of the president's State of the Nation address? What do you make of the president's State of the Nation address?
I would like to appreciate the government because we know that the past government failed all and lot of jobs in this country. So the president now for the first year, for the first first year, we know that we're going to function going to the level of free labyrinth. Because we know that the past government damage the country. Like when it comes to economy, health system, the past government damaged it. But now look at this government. When it comes to sanitation, this government is really working towards the health of the citizen. When it comes to health system, the government is working. Just recently, I tried to get information from our CEO, that the commission to carry a medical city to Grand Pastor to bring it there. So we will not give up power. You can start paying the hall. You start paying the foundation first. So for me, I believe that the first year, we use the foundation.
What's your expectation in the second year?
This year, the one thing I tell people, I remember the first edition, I put for Joey in 2017. I wish I said that the back of my face there. I did not get no benefit for Joey. Joey not given the power to help the people that were around. But if boy government again, as well as boy government in 2023, I want to for him in my buy engine boss.
What are you?
My buy engine boss prepare your vote. So I believe that this year that the president will work this year. Yes. The president only person that can break ground so out working. The president will break ground and the president will work. We believe it, and we keep prayer with the president.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have another person. Good afternoon. Your name? Okay, so tell us your own impression. You just listened to the President's State of the Nation address.
Well, very glad because I listened to the President's speech and spoke well. So for me, because the first to make sure that the civilian sector's salary will be increased, and that's very good idea because as a nation, when you see the civilian sector increasing, that means that the civilian, the people secure their, the nation is very important for me. That's why I like that statement from the president.
So if you were to grade this government in terms of performance?
Yeah, you look for performance, grade the government like 35% because they are very improving because I know that the government is 1 year of this government, but they are very doing well because there are a lot of things that are improving in the country. Because sometimes because the way they dress in the country, the reduces of the drugs is very important for the country because a lot of young people in the past government, the drug system was so higher, but now we are seeing that decreasing a little bit. So I like that and praise the government for that.
So in terms of recommendation, what can you recommend your specific area that you want to see that transformation?
Okay. For my recommendation to the president, because right now we are young people. There are a lot of young people in the community, in the nation that don't have job. So I like the president to visit the office at least to see how the improvement of the young people in the country, at least to see how the betterment of the country, the young citizens in the country. So I pray the government at least they continue their job, at least the perfect job, so we can see the nation forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we'll leave Alfred Colley there for a minute and bring in Chokon Flammer, who is currently somewhere in central Monrovia. Pleasant evening to you, Chokon. Where exactly are you?
We are here in central Monrovia trying to solicit the views of Monrovians about the speech just delivered by the president of Liberia, especially from CEO here, a famous intellectual forum. So we will talk to one of those who have come to listen to the president oration today. Welcome to Spoon TV. Tell us your name firstly.
Let me say thank you for the opportunity, and let me say thank you to the Liberian people. But I think today is a sad day in the history of this country. My name is Vani Prosperous Formula, a civil rights activist.
Vani, what makes this day a sad day for you?
This day is a sad day for me because I realize with the rhetorics and the rumors that the Unity Party-led government, which that they call themselves arrests, came to this country, and what the president said today, I see myths, I see lies, I see a lot of hypocrisy in the statement of the president. So that makes it to be a sad day for Liberia.
What specific lie you are claiming that the president lied about?
Well, let me just say this. The president talked about the 22 million and justified it. The 22 million was not just, it's not meant to be justifiable because we see vividly the president told us in the first 90 days the road in the southeast will be parable. And the Minister of Public Works told $8.9 million may stand to be corrected. Justified at the House of Senate when they call him for the ratification of that money. End of the day, we never saw any tangibles of the identical money. They rolled out the talk and told the Liberian people that said, or they say going to be parable, we saw lies on the identical rule. So what the 8.9 million want? We talk about rule of law. The rule of law was I work on honor the stewardship of Joseph Jomo Boakai. Today is the first time in the history of this country for the Supreme Court branch to not be represented at the Sona. In my mind, I see that as a gross violence against the rule of law, and I see that as a misstep against the human right of this country. This is the government that not respect rule of law when it comes to bad governance, and things are unfolding, secret killing are unfolding in this country. There is no justice for the commoners. There's no justice for the poor. The people are hungry, and the president take our money, our taxpayer money, rent a private jet, and go for
Chokon, you are muted. Chokon, you are muted. Kindly unmute your microphone as we listen to views from citizens across
his
Liberia.
government. So they making the 10 or 4 days in his second year. What can we see? We either see tumult and we either see a lot of suffering in this country. Things are very difficult. When the people are yummy, going to bed on this stomach, when the people are going to bed on mingo bellies, when times are very difficult, economy are very difficult, prices going high, and things remain the same price or prices. Where are we?
If you had to rate the president and the speech and all of that, what would you say?
Negative 2%. Negative 2. Because in my mind, I don't see anything. So they need to stop the myth. They need to stop the lies and do the work of the Liberian people. That's the reason why we gave them the authority to serve the interests of the people. Yesterday, the young man from in Liberia argued yesterday that representatives should not make 15,000. But today, representatives making 15,000, and this the Democrat young man went for that sooner, and he's still making 15,000. So where's the change they come with? Where's the change that the United Party government is giving to us? So these are some of the situations that we are facing. Yesterday, they said drugs was the order of the day. Drugs was the order of the day, and in protection, Mr. Moderator. They said yesterday drugs were the order of the day. Today, drugs have metamorphosed into category. Drugs have metamorphosed into category. We have the Dasepan, we have the Push, we have the Solar Planner, and we have the Zumi. These are some of the situations. That's the first time in the government, in the history of this country, to see the official of DA fighting over opposition, to tell you that this government is incapable of doing the interests of the people work.
Okay. Thank you so much. We have to talk to other people on the speech.
Let me say thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. We have another gentleman here. Welcome to Spoon TV. Tell us, what's your own view about the whole speech, the address to the nation today by the president?
So thank you. Firstly, the news about political slaughter of it. And firstly, a Liberian. And first of all, my whole view, I'm disappointed but I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed in the president, but I'm not surprised because I know that the president who didn't say anything straight. I understand that the president who didn't have talked about the necessity, the brand product issue, still that the president even laughed. Why the president should laugh to the Liberian people that basic social commodity prices have been reduced. When today, if you look at a bottle of surgery that was to be sold on Mr. Weir, President Weir, for $50 US, today it has been sold for 70, 80 Liberian dollars. Pardon me. Why the president should lie to us? Look at the 25 kg rice. Today, Yesterday on the church where it was sold for $3,250. Today it has been sold for $3,500 in some places. President Parker told us that basic commodities are being reduced. Why Mr. Parker should lie to us? You have mysterious deaths all around the place. Mr. Parker did not address the very important issue of our country. All you want to tell us today is to give us literature. The same literature in the past. Mr. Parker, I know that Mr. Parker who has said anything because Mr. Parker struggled to even put his own arrest agenda together. They were just concluded this on December. So the whole entire 2024 was a serious disaster. It will continue to be a disaster. How Mr. Parker did not tell about how he intends to reduce the US rate that is escalating today. What was his policy, economic policy on the economy? Example, how he targeting microfinance stability. How are he telling us that how our struggling parents that today are selling in Wallace? Take a came up in Wallace market. For us, we are political people, we are intellectual people, people that politics we're talking. But go to our communities, go down Wallace, take a microphone, ask them how the business going. Today, we yet to see no investor in the country. We yet to see no new company because Mr. Baga told us he was connected. Mr. Baga is a supporter in front of criminals and gangsters to order. When it comes to come to power, Mr. Baga going to bring confidence in the country. Today, the only thing we see a reduction of civil servants. If you are today, just recently you know that the term of mother was coming to remove for a job for no reason. Like all we can see, Mr. Parker disappoint international community today because look at what happened. You have the Chief Justice of the Republic of Labrador not represented at the state of New York. You have a Boko Haram speaker in Richardson, but Mr. Parker was not even able to say honorable speaker, Mr. Boko Haram speaker, a speaker who came as a coup d'etat, a military junta speaker. But Mr. Parker was not even at the courage to say, oh, the honorable speaker, Richard Nameku. Or you could say, honorable speaker, who the speaker, you have to be clear. So Mr. Parker didn't even have confidence in who Boko Haram speaker.
If you were to rate the speech and overall performance of the government, what would you say?
No, I won't put look at it as my personal view. Let me analyze it. No, I want to be proud of it, but let me analyze it. Because Parker speech today, or over few of the government, the people of 1 year, did you hear myself? Parker read it? They see what they know.
That's why I'm asking you, so you can rate that.
So to really, Parker need rating, he can have been -0. -0 because Mr. Parker lied to all the issue of yellow machine. Parker should have been telling us today what the state of the status of the yellow machine, what is the status of the Oloya yellow buses, what is the status of the youth empowerment promises I give to the people, what is the status of our agriculture sector, what is the status of our national budget, where are we going? What was his next fault? Parker will be telling us today his ministers, how many of them are declared assets? Parker will be telling us what is the status of our jobs. Look at young people on the street. Jobs are increased. Look at our country. Today, Parker will be telling us why a woman, her wife, Katumu Parker, stole money from ordinary Liberians, struggling on a serious issue. Criminality and even the first in the office. Parker he addressed on that. Even the foreign minister, Nicotel, is a criminal company. Parker will be telling us about LCC, Sama Wuzi, what a report. What the other reports on that? What the investigation? What the status of that? I mean, Moda. Since we resign.
So it seems to be you are more angry.
No, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. If you say angry, I'm not angry. I just disappointed as I told you. I disappointed because over 1 year of opportunity have been spanned. Parker is an old spanner. It's a serious national embarrassment, a disgrace to our country that every morning you wake up, you have death news. Every morning you never kill massive commerce. On a Parker first year, fire disaster all around the place. But Parker telling us today the capital building issue. Parker said need to be arrested and called for investigation. I'm saying this. Parker cannot be sending Gregor Cuomo to be picking up people where Mr. Parker pretty jazz. The whole ruling. Mr. Parker was the first person to say the also attack. Mr. Parker was the first person to tell that the fire disaster was done by hooligans. Mr. Parker need to tell her who the hooligans.
Okay.
Mr. Parker can tell Mr. Parker is one of the hooligans. And Mr. Parker should be clear. Why you can't hear if you want Gregor Como here who killing people all around the place. You get Gregor Como who won't work as a Malaysia on President Taylor. That man work on President Taylor as a Malaysia. That's the reason why forget about any sorry case of the regime.
We have to
forget
share
about the important
views.
issue.
We have to
Listen
share
to
the
Mr.
views of everybody.
Tato. You are a
We have to
decent brother.
listen. We have to listen to the
Mr.
view of
Parker
everybody.
suffering appearance.
Okay.
We don't want pay agents here to be coming here because man, you know.
We have to get a view of every Liberian. You are opposing to the speech. He wants to talk, and you oppose him to
Really,
him.
what you already in our speech. Mr.
So let him have his view.
The only difference in our speech, Mr. Parker, they're not seen today.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to school. Tell us quickly, what's your own impression about this?
So thank you. I'm Andrew Moses, firstly, and I'm the national chairman for the Liberian Township Colors Association. And let me appreciate your advent on Kerry Street today to speak to intellectuals and ordinary Liberians on the President Sona today. The first thing we have to establish here, the President Sona is a constitutional mandate, and the president has fulfilled that part of the constitution that says every year in January on the fourth working Monday, the president shall deliver to the legislature the state of the nation, and the president has fulfilled that part of the constitution. And secondly, to the Sona, the president spoke on a variety of issues. The president was able to touch on the health sector. The president spoke on the educational sector. The president spoke about agriculture, sanitation, the rule of law. But let us look at the reality on the ground. Let's use the president's speech and look at the reality on the ground. It is true that this government is adhering to the rule of law. I said no. President Baka, from the day President Baka took over this country, they have not respected the rule of law. The higher court in the land, which is the final arbiter of justice, the people came up with a ruling. President Baka illegally dismissed Liberians because of their political affiliation. When these people ran to the court, the people came out with their ruling. They said, Mr. President, these people have a turning law that is protecting them. So you should not be dismissing them arbitrarily. You should follow the rule of law and you should give them due process. President Baka disrespected the Supreme Court ruling. He went and illegally suspended the people for time indefinite again. Since the government took over, I'm not saying that everything is rosy.
So we lost Trocon there for a minute, and I was laid back listening to Liberians giving their views. And if we do not get our guys on the field back, we have to end this broadcast. We started at 3 p.m. and I expected to end at 6 p.m. It's 6 p.m. now, and we've lost our outside crew. All right, folks, you listen to President Boyka's second State of the Nation address to the legislature. Yes, the Supreme Court was absent. We didn't see any of the associate justices or the Chief Justice as well. Well, there are those who are saying that the address is mainly to the legislature, and if the Supreme Court is present or not, that is just an extension of an invitation. But the main beneficiaries, those who are, to listen to the president's annual message, are the representatives of the people, who are the legislators. That is the Senate and the House of Representatives. The president spoke for at least 1 hour 25 minutes, approximately 1 hour 25 minutes, and a lot was said as to how you digest the president's message, as to how you take the substance from the message, or how you analyze the message as well. Well, that is in all corridors of the country. My name is Diamond Slanger. On behalf of the entire production crew, love to say thank you so much for watching. For those of you who listened all across the country, and to those stations that relayed us all across Liberia, I'd love to say thank you as well. President Baika has fulfilled Article 58 of the 1986 Constitution. The president departs the country today for Tanzania and will be back on Wednesday, according to the official communication we've received as well. Have for yourselves a wonderful time. The Spoon Talk comes your way tonight, where the host, Mr. Stanton Alexander Wilder Spoon Sr., and the rest of the panelists will definitely be dissecting the President's State of the Nation address. All right, folks, this is where we end it for today. Bye-bye.